It doesn't show. Oh, that's because I cover up so well. No, I'm saying this because, and I know they don't realize it. I only got a hint that I was supposed to give the talk. I'm prepared, but I only had a hint when I came in today. I didn't know I was supposed to give the talk. But that's all right. That's why I say I appreciate people taking me for granted. Agin will do it. Yes, he will. Praise be to Allah. And you know,
when you came and you brought out that scenario, you said the Imam Mohammed had the first Sunday on the 6th in September. I mean on the 7th in September, 6 years ago. I think Imam even was standing there. You were standing there. I looked at Imam. I said, "Well, Imam, you want to do it?" And then I think I don't know what his response is. Somehow.
I remember that, but I didn't know it was. Ain't no problem though.
When I got home, my wife said it's on the internet. Imam Agin is doing it.
And you know what? I didn't bring my computer with me this time.
Well, you gonna just have to be you.
That's where I've been. No
computer, no.
Right. I did bring my computer because my wife she's in school and she was having problems with hers. And I said, well, you have this one for backup. You know, my little laptop, I didn't bring it with me. But praise be to Allah, and it's beautiful. All right. Did anybody have another question on the Arabic before because I'm waiting for... Waiting on Mumtaz. All right.
You ready?
All right. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. I bear witness openly that there is no deity or God worthy of worship besides Allah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. And I bear witness openly that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is Allah's slave servant and his messenger. The praise is for Allah and for him alone. If we understood that, and that's really right there in the Al-Fatiha. If we understood that, there wouldn't be any wars at all, and no disagreement, because we would understand whatever it is I thought I had coming, it belongs to Allah. And that's in the expression. We read, we just say praise to Allah, but it says Elham, the praise. If it's the praise, then where's the rest of it? What you got coming? All of it belongs to Allah. And this I want to just deal with a couple of words that I researched some time ago. Let me see where. Ain't this something? I did this in 2008. I didn't know it was 2008. I just looked down at the bottom and I looked up all the places in the Quran. A computer make you so smart. You can. Sometimes my wife asks me something about school, and I say Google it. We say wow, and she knows more about the phone now. But we say wow, the phone really make you smart. Well, I had a friend one time told me he thought briefcases made you smart. Then he told me, you go to Chicago State, boy, they make you smart, won't they? I told him, I said, no, George. I said, if you ain't got that when you go over there, you ain't coming back with that either. But praise be to Allah. We looked up these words. I'm looking at the, how when you pull something off the computer, it shows you what date you did it. And this was in 2008, but it was June 1st, so it wasn't September. Sometimes we let things pass by us and we don't pay any attention to them at all. And we just think, oh, well. In 2008, which is the year that Imam Mohammed made his transition, there was some significant things that you should have taken note of. If we hadn't, then we can note them now. Number one was, we all know that year marked 33 years from 1975, right? 33 years. And of course, those who study scripture, that it tells us that Jesus' mission was 33, all right? And then, of course, Imam Muhammad was born in 1933. All right, and then in the 33 years was up. Actually, we might say February of 2008. But you remember, it took some time for him to civilize us, to bring us into some kind of order, you know. And so the first time we observed Ramadan at the proper time, we had observed Ramadan. Thank you very much. There's some people who understand what's what. You know, when your eyes start running and you're sniffling, and you think, well, really what's happening, you're dehydrated. You're actually dehydrated. And then something, water started running, and you need water. That's a little something that I learned about the body. Your eyes running, sniffling. If you don't have a cold, because eyes running, that's almost always a signal that you need some water. Even if you don't think that. Yeah. Also, and that arthritis start kicking in on you. Sometimes it's not arthritis. It's nothing but your body is dehydrated. And the bones are trying to tell you, I need some water. Because the brain going to get its part first. The brain uses a high percentage. I don't remember exactly what the percentage of the water is now. That, you know, your whole body is like, what, 75% water or something like that? And the brain uses most of the water that you take in. And it gets its water first. So if the other part of the body doesn't get what it wants, then it'll start crying. That's the only way. How your knee gonna talk to you? The only way it can talk to you is say, "Oh man, I hear you." Then do something about it. Give me some water. All right. So then we had 33 years officially in February. But the first Ramadan that we observed was started September the 7th, 1975. Now, you smart, you got these computers, you can go back and get that perpetual calendar. Go back where you go on something like in the Islamic pages, where it'll convert from the Christian era to the lunar calendar, and it'll show you when Ramadan started in 1975. It was September the 7th. And that's the last speech that Imam Mohammed gave, was on September the 7th, 2008. That's actually when we'd actually begun doing Jummah, but I can't remember exactly. I remember when they took the seats out, but I didn't note the date then, so some of you may remember exactly. But by that time, we had started doing Jummah. Or you know, we weren't doing Jummah. Some of us say we've been doing Jummah all the time. No, we weren't. We had 4 meetings a week. 3 meetings all of us could come to, and then the brothers had a meeting and the sisters had a meeting. And we misinterpreted that for commitment. But really what it was obligatory if you wanted to stay in good standing. Because if you missed a meeting, you had to go sit on the bench. If you missed a meeting, they didn't call in. And when you call in, you had to, one but 2 reasons to be absent: sick or work. Is that right, brother? I was looking back at that brother, got much beard than I have. Got whiter beard than I have. He know if you missed, you had to call in. If you weren't going to be there, you had to call in. And the only 2 acceptable reasons was either sick or work. So we interpreted being at every meeting, as our level of commitment. But it really wasn't. It was just obligatory in order to stay in good standing. Otherwise, you had to sit on the bench, you had to see the captain, and they might give you C class. C class wasn't so bad. I mean, we're going to watch you. We said C class, but it really was SEE. I mean, we're going to see how you do. All right. Okay, but now our understanding is better, so nobody makes you do anything. And nobody's going to put you out because they didn't make you do anything then. They didn't make us take papers. But if you didn't take them, you were in trouble. You know, nobody. I only heard of one place where they had a brother who would make the brothers turn their pocket wrong side out. I heard of one place like that, but I won't even say where it was because y'all might know who it was then. But otherwise, you got your papers, you sold them, whatever. But it was in order to stay in good standing. And personally, I had to stay in good standing because I didn't have nowhere to go. I done burned all of my bridges. I got fired from the Chicago Board of Education, where they were trying to fire me. It was going to take them 5 years to fire me because of the rating system, and I hit a man. They got me into deliberately into an argument, and I hit the man so that that fulfilled their purpose. They were able to get rid of me right quick. And I'm not going to make this long, but I was sharing this with our leader today about how messages, someone mentioned that message that the Imam speaks in specifics and generalities. And there was a message that the Imam spoke to the whole world, and it sounded like it was specifically for me. It was called Invisible White Divinity by a Visible Whitened God. And when I heard it when he said it, but it didn't really ring until I got a chance to read it in the paper. I was sitting up on your supermarket parking lot, and I was looking at the article, and I couldn't put it. I was just going to, I had my 300 papers in the van with me, and I was just going to look at it and see what was in there, and I couldn't put it down. It was as if he sat down and said, "Now, Gene, here's your problem." I'm going to tell you right quick what happened. Not going to go through the whole scenario, but anyway, this big Caucasian fella, his name was Ted Welch, and he was an ex-Marine. He's principal of the school, and I got into an argument with him. It was staged. They knew that I had a short fuse, and so they set me up. And anyway, so I confronted him, and he was trying to talk, and I told him, I said, "Boy, when I'm talking, you're supposed to be listening." And he went to say something else, and I stepped in and hit him under his nose. Now, I was supposed to kill him. I knew how to kill him. Any of you in the martial arts, you probably have heard of Ray Cooper. That's who I was training under, Ray Cooper, and I was only 29 years old then. I'm so glad, I hope Ray never heard about that, because he would have won. I didn't kill him, man. I'm glad I didn't. And I didn't know why I didn't kill him until Imam, till April the 8th, I believe it was. April the 8th, April the 4th or April the 8th, I can't remember. April the 4th, I believe it was, 1975, when he came out with that article. Invisible, and you can Google it, by the way. You can Google Invisible White Divinity by a Visible Whitened God, and Imam Muhammad's article will come up there, all right? And it's I think it's April the 4th. But anyway, to make this short so I can get to what I want to talk to you about today, he explained that because we had either been in church or been influenced by the church, you didn't have to go to church, and you've been influenced by the church so much by the fact that they gave us the image of Jesus in a whitened form and said he was God. So much so until we took that and made the whole Caucasian race invisibly divine. That's what I mean by invisible white divinity. I mean, they don't visibly say that they're God, and many of them don't even know. They know. Do you think that that's over with now? No. It's not over with now. It's still going on today, and it still affects us, all of us. But those of us who are aware of it, we are able to control the situation. It's going to take a long time to get this eradicated. Imam Muhammad started on it, and his mission is not over until that's finished. So we got a lot of work to do. Because what happens is, I'll give you a good example, and then I'm going to go on. I worked with a brother who was from Pakistan, and he was about Mumtaz's complexion. And he said he was a white Oriental. And he held to that so closely until when I got promoted to be the senior chaplain, he thought he was supposed to get it because he was closer to them than I was. When he didn't get it, and he was a chaplain, when he didn't get it, he was living in Tinley Park. He transferred from Stateville, went all the way to Sheridan, which is an additional 40 miles further west. Rather than work under me, he never worked a full week under me the whole time until he got the transfer through. We were off on different days, so those 2 days, the 2 days I was off, he would come to work those 2 days, and then he would play with the other time, 6 days and so forth, until he never, because he just could not face the fact that he was working under, and I didn't bother anybody, but he just couldn't face it. And here is the telling that's going to lead us into what we're talking about today. One day I was talking to him about a word in the Quran, and He said it meant something, and I showed him where it had an additional meaning. I don't remember specifically what the word was now, but he said to me, now he's been speaking Arabic all his life, and I'm saying this to you so that you understand, just because they speak Arabic doesn't mean they know Arabic. He said to me, brother, we cannot talk about religion. We talk about Cooks, White Sox, Bulls. He didn't want, now here's a Muslim, two Muslims. Both of us were born in 1939 too, by the way, so we were the same age, just a month or two different. And both of us, we were the only institution in the country that had 2 full-time paid Muslim chaplains. And he said we couldn't talk about religion. Because he didn't understand the language. That's where I'm going now. He didn't understand the language, and he couldn't dare have a novice explain to him the language that he's been speaking all of his life. Now you might say, oh, that's pretty dumb of him not to know Arabic. He didn't speak. I say, so I'll ask you something. You've been speaking English all of your life. Could you teach a course in, let's say, English Composition 101? Now, some of you maybe, but not necessarily so. But even though you've been speaking Arabic, been speaking English all your life. That's the point I'm making. That just because you speak a language don't mean that you know it. All right? And I don't claim to know Arabic, but I do study it. Therefore, when I say something, it's something that I have been blessed to understand, and not something that I'm guessing on, not what my grandfather told me or my great-grandfather told me, something that has not been examined. All right, now, I was looking up the word understanding. I just put it in. I went to a Search Quran. That's why I did this on Search Quran. And I went to the word understanding. And it gave me a number of words. I got about 10 pages here of words of places in the Quran. But I'm just going to deal with a few of them now so that you can understand. Every time you see the word understanding, it's not necessarily the same word in Arabic. All right? So if it's not the same Arabic word, it definitely does not mean the same thing. All right, here's one. And I'm going to give you verses and chapters. All right. The word understanding, is, this one it says appears 37 times in 37 verses in the Quran, in the Yusuf Ali translation. Here's one here. This one is from Surah Al-Baqarah, the 2nd chapter, and 179th verse. You want to make a note of that? 2nd chapter and 179th verse. This is the one that caused me to want to get an understanding about understanding, because this particular ayat says, it says, "O ye men of understanding." That's how it addresses it. And it's telling you that you are not going to get the understanding until you already have you're not going to get the message. It doesn't say you're not going to get the message until you already have understanding. And my question to myself was, how am I going to get the understanding if I can't get? That's why I'm reading the Quran, trying to get understanding. But the word that's here, yeah, is for the O. I'm sorry. Ulul albab. Ulul albab is the word for understanding. All right. What is that that's open back there near Brother Sharif? That's a door. Bab. Ulul. So what is it saying? It does refer to understanding, but it's saying, oh, you who are open. If you're not open, it's like a fist. If the fist is closed, you can't get anything in it. If your mind is closed, you can't get anything in it. So the message is telling you that the only ones that's going to understand this is those who are open to understanding. Ulul albab. And that's translated as men of understanding. But if you don't know that, then you might think it's only still talking to wise people. Those who are already wise. Well, if you're already wise, you don't need the book. Our wisdom is limited to the fact that we know we need the book. All right. Now, here's another one. Well, this one is the same thing. Ulul albab. I want to get to a different one. Okay. In the 3rd chapter and the 65th verse, it says, ye people of the book, why dispute you about Abraham when the law and the gospel were not revealed till after him? And then it says, he translates, have you no understanding? But the word for understanding there is not ulul albab. It's ta'qilun. Ta'qilun. It says afala ta'qilun. Is interrogative. When you prefix a phrase with then that means you're asking a question. For instance, I say anta-muslimun, I'm telling you you're a Muslim. But if I say anta-muslimun, now I'm asking you, are you a Muslim? You see the difference? Anta-muslimun, you're a Muslim. Anta-muslimun, then you require to respond to that because I ask a question. So the here is a question. Then it says fala. La means not, and fa means now, right now. They translate as then. But it's a then that has no time in between the two acts, all right? You know, if this happened, you should understand it just like that. So when it says afala, will you not right now understand? The la means not. Will you not right now? Ta'qilun, understand? All right? There's at least two words that's translated to mean then in Quran. Thumma and fa. Just one letter with the fatha on fa. It's even fa is listed in the dictionary, okay, as a word. Okay, it was one of the words that we gave you this morning for extension, one of the letters. So it means instantly, then, not then like thumma. Thumma means then because it comes from the word thamma. Thamma. And thamma means yonder. Say, where is Sharif? He's over yonder. So there's distance between me and Sharif now, right? All right. But fa is like this desk. It's like, I'm here and there's a desk right here. All right. So that's the difference between the then. So this says afala and this says ta'qilun is the word that's really translated to mean understanding. It comes from the word aikala. Aikala. And aikala means to tie things together. It's also the root word for the brain. Aikal. And that's the property of the brain. That's the unique property of the brain. It puts things together so that they do what? Make sense. That's the way. So I'm showing you how they got to understand it. So it puts things together and that's how it makes sense. And then we might think, well, that don't seem like that's so difficult. Do you know, until this was brought to my attention by studying the Arabic language, I never thought about what the process of reasoning was or what the process of thinking was. But we use it all the time. We said, understand. Do you understand? Well, matter of fact, I know some people use that all the time. Every time they say, so, understand? Know what I mean? Understand? Know what I mean? Understand? Know what I mean? Yeah. And we do understand. But most of us don't know what the process of understanding is. Ta'qilun explains the process. If you go to that root word, aikala, then you'll see what the process of ta'qilun. So it translates, do you not understand? I have you no understanding. It means that you take this and put it together. Show you how we do it all the time. You say, maybe I said something early, and you didn't understand. So I don't know what Agin's talking about. And then later on, oh, yeah, no. And so what happened? You thought about something else. Maybe it happened 20 years ago. And saw the connection between what I just said a few minutes ago. You said, oh, I understand. What you did, you took old information and new information and tied it together to get understanding. That's ta'qilun. And the brain does that all the time, automatically, whether we know it's doing it or not. Anybody whose brain doesn't do that, we say they are CRAC. Well, anyway, we say they don't have any sense. Okay. But you're supposed to be able to do it. So, for instance, a mate, say a man's wife who takes care of the house, prepares the food, and bears children and everything, and then you have a problem understanding, talking about, I don't believe you love me. And she look, fool, What is wrong with you? I've been cooking for you for 30 years. I raised 6 children for you. I wash your clothes. I clean up your old dirty drawers from behind you. And you still have not connected that with... What you should say to him, sister? Have you no sense? That's how the Imam said. He said they say, will you not understand him? But one place Yusuf Ali does say, have you no sense? I mean, can't you make no connections at all? I'm saying all this because we have to be conscious of, we do make connections, but we have to be consciously aware of the connections that we're making so that we can appreciate this process that we're involved in. I heard a brother on the phone. I don't know who he was, and he didn't know me, I'm sure. But we were in the washroom, and he was talking to somebody on the phone while he was in the washroom. And he said, yeah, man, yeah, it's good. He really got it together. No, he got it together. They are looking at this movement that we're in and predicting that Brother Deen Mohammed II is not going to be able to handle this. They are so stupid. They're so stupid. Because they do not yet understand that this is not Deen Muhammad's movement. This is not even Imam Deen Muhammad the first movement. This is Allah's movement. This is Allah's work. Don't you have no sense? If you see a man come in the Nation of Islam, where he had been put out at least 3 times officially, all right? And when they said put out, he explained to us about being put out. I mean, you can't speak to nobody, no Muslim. You can't even talk to your mama. That's what he said. You know, you're not going to even talk to your mother. But I want to say this before I finish that. Do you know that one of those times when Imam Muhammad was quote unquote put out, I never came in contact with him while he was in that stage. Because I know one brother, he's not here now, but he's your friend. He got put in C class for speaking to the Imam. Your friend, Nafis. He got put in C class for speaking to, because you weren't supposed to even speak to somebody who was out of the community. All right. One day 2 times I was selling papers there at the used to be a Jewel supermarket there at 87th and Stony Island. I was selling papers. And Imam Muhammad came to the store. I didn't see him go in by the time I saw him. I'm busy. I'm speaking to him. And I look up, I see his back going in the door. And same thing happened. A guy came up and blew for the stop. I had to go out to the street again, and I come back, he was headed across the parking lot. So I didn't have to make the decision of whether or not to speak to him. I consider that to be a mercy from Allah. Because I was stupid. I would... But Allah already said, Agin, I'm not going to put you through that. Let Wallace go on in there and get what he got to get and go on back across. And you don't have to decide whether or not you should give him the greetings or not. All right? That was a mercy. Now, if they can't see that he came and took this, they didn't take it, but we elected him to the leadership. Even those who later on didn't support him, they lifted him up on their shoulders. Upon their shoulders. Savior standing on their shoulders. Had him up and up in there, up and everybody. Long live Muhammad. We didn't know Allahu Akbar then. Long live Muhammad. Long live Muhammad. That's what we were saying. And then some of them still withdrew their support. Why? Because they didn't understand whose movement. They thought that Wallace was taking over. No, Allah was handling this then. He was handling it back when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was alive. And he was handling it when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made his transition. And Imam Muhammad came into office. And he was handling it after Imam Muhammad did his 33 years and 7 months. Then he's still handling it right now. And don't consider yourself as, well, I'm going to do Wallace a favor. No. You're not doing Wallace a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. And you'll be doing yourself a bigger favor if you understand what it is that you're doing. That's right. And I say this to you because most of you live right here in Chicago, where I lived for 50 years. All right. And so I say this to you, not in boast, but just to let you know the kind of understanding I have. All right. I'm not boasting. Allah, forgive me, I'm not boasting, but I have to share the knowledge with you so that you can understand. Each time I get here on the first Sunday, I have driven 570 miles to get here. And I have to drive another 570 to get back home. And I didn't ask I'm saying this to you because Brother Wallace is right here now. He can verify it. I didn't ask to teach the Arabic on the first Sunday. I had this blessing that Allah had given me, and I wanted him to let his son, Mumtaz or Wallace, either one, video it for me so it would be in the archives and wouldn't be lost, because I recognized that Allah had blessed me with something that no other Arabic teacher would. Not that I'm the most scholarly, but no other that I gave you today. That chart, that's the one that nobody else uses. They don't use it. Matter of fact, when you find anything about syllables in an Arabic book, it'll tell you that there are 2 types of syllables. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'll tell you 2. And there are actually 4 types of syllables, all right? And you learn to recognize those syllables. Allah blessed me with the idea this weekend, so I'm sharing it with you, so I have to go on and get it done, because every now and then you can punch me, do something, to let me know how you're coming on it. I'm going to put together a video book called Arabic for Babies and Beginners. Arabic for Babies and Beginners. And inshallah, it will be a video type book. I can't do it. If I try to write it, then you got to try to use transliteration, and that corrupts the whole process. Because when you transliterate, that means transliterate is different in translation now and transliteration. Most of you know that, but just in case there's somebody who doesn't know. Translation means taking the meaning from one language to another language. Transliteration means you're trying to take the sounds from one set of alphabets to another set of alphabets, all right? And that won't work with Arabic and English. That won't work with Arabic and any other language, really, because first of all, there are 28 Arabic alphabets and only 26 English. That'll let you know you're too short already, right? And then there are many English letters that are really a waste. What do you need a C for? Exactly. A C is either pronounced as a S or a K. If it's followed by E, I, or Y, it's pronounced as a S. It's followed by A, O, or U, it sounds like a K. Right. So what do you need? So that's a wasted letter. But I don't want to get into that right now, just to let you know. Okay. So this process that we're in is an opportunity that Allah has afforded us. And if you understand it, then you will be able to participate with more zeal and more genuinely, rather than looking back to see, I ain't getting no credit for this. Yeah, they don't even give me no credit. What does Allah say? He says, whatever good you do is for your own soul. When we understand that, then we won't be. And also, the praise, I already dealt with that. The praise is for Allah. All right. And also it's saying that whatever good you do, it is for your own soul. So don't consider yourself as doing Brother Wallace a favor, or even doing this community a favor. Whatever good you do is for your own soul. And so we strive to do that with genuineness. And you know what? You can't fool Allah. My little twin grandchildren, a boy and a girl, some of you have seen Rashida's children. They're in first grade now, but this is back when they were still in nursery school. And so the little girl got, a boy and a girl, little girl got in some trouble. I know what it was about. She's allergic to a lot of things, so she had some bumps broke out on her, and they had served some of these little bitty oranges. What they call the little bitty ones, anyway. Yeah, and I don't know which, but they were small anyway. And she said she didn't eat any. I said somebody, one of them had already explained that that's what they had, and so she was telling them, I didn't eat any, I didn't eat any. Her little twin brother, he didn't want to tell on her. He said, Allah knows everything. I didn't. He didn't say she did. He just said Allah knows everything. He was about 4 then, so he knew then. So I'm telling you, Allah knows everything. So whatever good we do, know that Allah knows it already. And that's the one that we are striving to please. Another place, it's using the word understanding. And it says, this was the 4th chapter and the 129th verse. And the translation goes something like this. Ye are never able to be fair. This is concerning men having more than one wife. It says, ye are never able to be fair and just between women, even if it is your ardent desire. But the way, no, this part of this word is missing. You know how sometimes in print, I'm not sure where it is. I guess it's but don't put women away altogether. That's what I remember the concept, but I can't see what the word is. Altogether, okay. So as to leave her, as it were, hanging in the air. If ye come to understanding and practice self-restraint, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. So this word that's translated for understanding here is tuslihun. 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 It's coming from the word salihah, which means to do good. You can't be, you know, you're talking about you, because I understand, believe me, I do understand you. You can't, as a matter of fact, how that verse ends says, one is better for you if you only know. That's right. All right. But it says, if you don't know that, at least try to be good too. All right. So, tuslihun means be good. All right. As a matter of fact, we are referred to often in the Quran as muslihun. Muslihun. The doers of good. The doers of good. All right. Okay. Well, I'm running into the same thing over. Well, I do have another one, but I see this next one I have is ta'akilun again, so I won't review that one again because I would tell you the same thing, that it means making the connections. So here's one that is using the word understanding, and it's yakina. Yukinun is the word that's used. Yukinun. And this is supposed to be, it's translated as understanding also. Yukinun. But yukinun comes from the word yaqina. Yaqina. And yaqina means to be certain. So this is more than understanding here. Then this is something that you're certain about. Okay? I mean, you have no doubt. All right? You know, that's an attitude that we have to have about the hereafter. You know, we have to be yukinun. Meaning that we of the hereafter we are sure. We have made the connection. This word doesn't deal with you make the connection, but I'm just going back using the word that we have already used. We have made the connection that I'm a human being. I didn't create myself, and everything is here that I need. All the food that I need, all that, and there are trees that live longer than I do. There are animals that get bigger and stronger than I do. So this must not be all of my life, because I'm supposed to be the best of creation. He already told the angels to bow down to me. So I'm supposed to be the best. And the trees live longer. The gorilla is stronger, you know. And so if the gorilla is the best, then they should have had to bow down to the gorilla. But what? Bow down to the man, right? If the trees were greater, then the trees, because the trees do bow, you know. Did you know that, don't you? All right. As a matter of fact, even the rocks make sense now. You ever seen a rock that says, well, the sun is rising from the east, and the rock says, be a little arrogant. Say, well, I think I want to cast my shadow to the east this morning. No, it obeys 100%. And then little by little, as the sun goes, it takes it back into itself. And there's a momentary second when the rock doesn't cast any shadow at all. All right, then it will start back going the other direction. So it's obedient. So we have to learn to be obedient the same way. We make that kind of connection, and we know that since we are not the strongest, nor do we live the longest, then it must be something else, and that is the afterlife. I don't like that word, and Imam Mohammed taught me not to like. I don't like that word hereafter. He said that's a oxymoron. Oxycontin, boy. I've been around these folks talking about drugs too much. Oxymoron. Oxymoron means that you're saying one thing, but it means just the opposite. So you can't be here and after all at the same time. So that's an oxymoron. But the afterlife, we're sure, and that's the only way you can be a true Muslim. Otherwise you won't even behave correctly. If you don't think that you don't have to give an account to, I can do this. Ain't nobody around. I can do this. No, you better know like Rashid knows, my grandson. Allah knows everything. He sees everything too.
Make it hard to have patience.
Yes, it would. That's right. Because you think that this is it. Right? You can't be patient. You got to have it right now. Okay. And then we have the word thick, where it says talking about people without understanding, and this is from the 8th chapter in the 65th verse, and it said that people la thickun, they have no understanding, and this is coming from the word fakina, which means to understand. So when they talk about the books on fiqh, this really is supposed to be where they are giving you the understanding that they have about the religion. So, dear believers, the point for this is that we can be better Muslims and get the credit that we deserve, which the only credit that we deserve is with Allah. And that's the best. That's the best. I wouldn't trade Allah's mercy for anything. Not all of the gold and silver or anything. I long for Allah's pleasure. I strive for Allah's pleasure. I want to please Allah. I don't know that I'm pleasing Him, but I know He's merciful. I know that. He says that of Himself. And He says that He has reserved mercy for Himself. He's the one. That's the only place you can really get mercy. We get a little consideration from one another. But Allah is the best of those who show mercy. So we strive to please Allah. Let us all do that. And then we will stop. We won't get in. People I'm talking to, I'm really like singing to the choir, because you here, you're not guilty of this. But if we can get this kind of understanding and know that what we are doing is for Allah's sake, we won't have any tangling and wrangling among ourselves. We just, each one, as I heard someone say earlier today, talking about how smooth the convention went. Nobody had to tell, hey, you go do this, hey, you do this. It was just being done. It's just being done. People who knew what they were supposed to do, they were doing it, and nobody was wrangling. I told you, none of that. None of that. That's because we are dealing with people, and that's what it takes. We don't have to have a lot of us. All it takes is for us to have the understanding that we are doing this for Allah's pleasure and for Allah's pleasure alone. And by that, we are going to be successful. So we mentioned in the Arabic class earlier where the term قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, and the mistranslation they have is saying that the believers will eventually be successful. No. We are already successful, and we just want to continue this success and pass it down and pass it on to the next generation. And I say this because one of my good friends, I'm not going to call his name, he's here, but he misunderstood this. So I'll say it for the benefit of all so that he will know that I said it to you too. And if you have any contention on it, then we can deal with that sidebar however you want to. All right. Well, I'll say like this, though. I remember Imam said this February 25th, 1975. He had a meeting that afternoon after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had passed. And he had all the ministers. I was out in the harbor. I called in, and Sister Salam, she was called Sister Edwina then. Anyway, she answered the phone. Before I called, we were preparing for Savior's Day, and I had my boys fixing sandwiches, and we had us an assembly line going, and my little daughter, oldest daughter, she had boxed up 500 dozen cookies. 500 dozen cookies. She didn't count them. She had a way she could fix her little hand, just reach and grab them. And when we got back home, she had them done. I used to sell stuff. Out the back of my trunk of my car, out of the van, whatever I had. I see a cookie monger over there. No. We get them cookies. All right. But anyway, He said to us that day, we were still ministers then, and this is the same day that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed. He said, brother ministers, I have no contenders in this religion. He said, if I have any contenders, stand up right now. Because if you stand up, lady, you're a liar and a hypocrite. I said, oh boy, he bad. I didn't understand then. I later made that statement to a group of Muslims, and they got mad with me. I told them, I'll tell y'all what it means the next time. So I'm going to tell y'all what it means. What he was saying, contender is someone who's coming up against you. What he said, in the religion. He didn't say he didn't have any contenders. He said he didn't have any contenders in this religion. What does he mean by this? If you're in this religion, you're not going to contend with me. If you know more than me, you're going to teach me. If you know the same, you're going to work with me. If you know less than me, you're going to listen to me. And if you got something to say against me and I'm in the religion, you are not. So you're not contending from this religion, you're contending from the outside. So that's what it is. So it was a humble statement, but it sounded like, boy, he bad. Man. But anyway, I went home and told my wife that evening, I said, we ain't lost nothing. And I still say today, we haven't lost anything. Allah is continually blessing us, stage by stage. He's blessing us to come through. So dear believers, let us continue to strive in this cause, doing everything that we can, knowing that the credit is going to be to our good. It's going, and if you stand off on the side looking sad in the Yawm al-Hasib, all right, the day of judgment, the day of opinion. Hasabah means to have an opinion. The day when Allah's opinion is being made, all right, is because you didn't do what you were supposed to do here today. And we will see that. And don't think that everybody's going to get the same. You need to understand this. Don't think that everybody's going to get the same. Allah's judgment is going to be fair and just. And he even tells us that in the Quran. I can't remember exactly which ayat it is right now, but it says, not equal are those. And 494 or somewhere like that, 495. It says, not equal are those who sit at home and those who strive in Allah's cause. Those who strive, they will get a degree higher than those. But everybody's going to get justice now. Everybody's going to get justice. So it all depends on where you want to be. If you're satisfied, just get whatever. I just believe, and that's good. And that's all you want, that's good, all right? But if you want the best of the judgment, and that's what we should want, then let us strive with our best. And Allah knows when you're doing your best, and he knows when you're holding back. Now, the point I wanted to make, that I made to my good friend, and he thought I was trying to retire. I said, we don't want to be like the bull, what are those big, they're bovines, but they're wild, and they have big horns, rams. Well, you know, the bull ram, when the young ram come up and he's about ready to procreate, he got the butt horns with the and roosters do the same thing. I raised chickens when I first went back to Arkansas, and I had an old rooster that blinded a young rooster that was coming. Picked him in his eye, pecked his eye out. Because he didn't want him to come into fruition. Well, we don't want to be like that. You know, we want to be, whereas the young people come along, step aside. Assist them from the side and help them. Don't be, hey, I got this roster. Ain't nobody coming up here to speak. No. We assist those young ones coming along. Because you ain't going to be here. Okay, you hold on to it until you die. They're going to separate it from it because they said, we ain't got no coffin big enough to put that rostrum in. So they're going to take the coffin away, or take the rostrum away from you anyway if you hold on until you die. They're still going to take it away from and put you in that coffin by yourself. All right? So I was explaining that to him. He thought that I was talking about I'm going to quit. I'm going to do everything that I have an opportunity to do that's good, all right? If I'm asked to do it, I'm going to do it. As long as I can see well enough to drive and can stand up when I get out of the car or whatever. What you laughing about? Boy, that'd be a problem sometimes. I'm 75 years old now. When I get out of the car at the rest stop, okay, here's the door, I get out. You think I get out? I be looking around like I'm looking. I be waiting for them knees to kick in. Make sure they go. And sometimes I may even look back in the car. Like, you got to learn these strategies, boy. I look back in the car, see if there's something back there that I need, you know, till the knees engage. Because they've been sitting up there for 200 miles. And they think this, we through now, Rick. So you have to give them a chance to get back in gear, you know. But praise be to Allah, I'm thankful that Allah blessed me. You know, I don't have no problem driving. I'm thankful for. I even stopped wearing glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I don't wear. I got glasses, but I don't wear them. I read. I'm almost finished reading the Quran in Arabic. I got. I finished day 26 today. I got 4 more days since Ramadan, and I haven't been trying to force myself to read it. Some days I read a full juz, but since Ramadan, and I don't use any glasses. I don't need any. When I set those eyes, I put them in focus, and you don't see me squinting. I don't see as clearly as I used to, but I know what I'm seeing. And I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll leave, inshallah. An old preacher friend of mine down in Arkansas, he's 18 years older than I am, so he's 93. And so they said, Reverend Brown, you still fishing? Oh, no. I ain't been since Thursday. This was Sunday. Said, Reverend, you shouldn't. And he doesn't wear glasses. He was my motivation. He don't wear glasses. He said, Reverend Brown, you shouldn't be out there. We got a little John boat that he loads into his pickup truck, which is a stick shift, and his car's stick shift also. And he loads that in, and then he go fishing. Reverend Brown, you ought not to be out there in that water. You fall over in that water. Well, it won't make no difference. I'll be dead then. In other words, he has no fear. He had no fear. And the reason why I like him, his baby sister graduated from high school with me. But I didn't really know him. But when I went back, he knew me. And I went to the Ministerial Alliance, and he told them, I'm going to tell you something, brother ministers. We need Mohammed, because white folks scared of him. But he's been my friend. I go to his church. He pastors the church where I was raised up. I go to his church. I try to sit in the back or something, you know. And so he put me on the spot. Every time I'd go to both of his churches. I was running for office down there then. So one day I went to his church, to the church where I was raised up in. And I sat back there like maybe where Brother Carlett is right now. And I sat down, you know. He got up. Ain't got no glasses on now. I done told Mohammed, whenever he come where I am, come on up here with me. Nah, because before that he was send a Ursula, somebody go back and get Mohammed up here. And he said, I ain't doing this no more. I done told you whenever, and I done told everybody else, whenever you come where I am, you come on up here with me. And so that if I go to his church now, that's what I have to do. I have to go on up there with him, you know. And you think he just had me sitting up there? You want to read it? You know, they have like scripture reading where the preacher read one verse and then the congregation read the next and so forth. I've forgotten what it's called, but anyway, you want to do that for me today? He had me to read, do something. He had me do something. And one day I was there, and this one surprised me. He said, he got up. He had a special seat for his youngsters. He said, what my young folks? Wasn't nobody on the seat, so they all come on up there. And then after they got up there, he started talking about walking around wearing your pants hanging off. This boy was trying to pull his pants without getting up, you know, he tried to push him up with the seat. And then after he got through, he said, now he's supposed to be getting ready to preach. Well, now y'all going to be whatever you're going to be. So right now, I'm going to bring Brother Mohammed before you in his own way, and gave me his 11 o'clock service. That's the kind of friend he is. So I said, if he's that strong, I believe I can see without my glasses too. And Allah has blessed me. Allah has blessed me. I still have the floaters, but they don't bother me that much. I know what they are. They're floaters, you know. You ain't part of my vision. Dear believers, let us pray that Allah will bless us with good in this world and good in the hereafter. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.